Namaste. Good morning, dear students of Class 8. It's me, Sabina Shrestha, your science facilitator. I'd like to welcome you all in distance learning class of Class 8. Here, science. Today we are going to study science. So science, to make the studies much more convenient, its contents have been divided into 5 different categories. They are physics, chemistry, biology, astronomy and zoology, and environment education. So today we are going to start the first lesson of physics. It's measurement. Yes, when you heard the lesson's name, you've already got a revision. You've already studied about it in class 6 and class 7. So let's get started. Before we get started, okay, let's recall some of the activities of our daily life. You wake up early in the morning and then you just check time. It's 6 o'clock, suppose. Most probably we do wake up at 7 or 8. Suppose it's 6 o'clock and then you just think at what time I slept. I slept yesterday at around, I think it was 10 o'clock. Then you start counting the time, how many hours you slept. Then you start counting like 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 hours, around 8 hours full. I had a very wonderful sleep today. So this you are knowingly, unknowingly, you're measuring time. Similarly, when you go to market to buy some of the vegetables, fruits, or whatever, yeah, you go to the market and then you just meet the shopkeeper and ask. Suppose you've gone to buy a kilogram of apple, for example. Now, when you go to buy, what does the shopkeeper do is, he just takes a beam balance, yes, or a pan balance like this. And then he will just add a standard mass, suppose of 1 kg in one side of the pan balance. Suppose this is 1 kg. And in another side, he will go on adding. In the beginning, it may not be balanced. Yes, this might be a little down or this might be a little up, this pan. And he'll go on adding the amount of material, the material that you wanted. Suppose you're just trying to get some apple. He'll go on adding the amount of matter in it. Yes, the mass you wanted to buy, the apples you wanted to buy, he'll go on adding in another pan of the balance. And as it comes in the equilibrium point, as it gets balanced, then he will come to the conclusion that this much apple, maybe 4, 5 number, it depends. This is equal to 1 kilogram. Yes, and he gives you the same amount of apples to you. So that is 1 kg mass. Similarly, like you want to get some dress stitched for you. You go to the tailor and the tailor will simply get your measurement. He will use different types of measuring scales for taking your length. He might measure the length of your shirt, the length of your sleeves and all. And then he will say, okay, you just get this much meters of cloth or this much length of cloth. You go to the shopkeeper again and then after he will provide you the clothes. Yes, he will just take a measuring tape or maybe a meter rod and then measure the cloth with the help of that measuring tape. And then we'll provide you the amount, the length you demanded. So all these activities, when we have recall of all these activities, what's going on actually here is simply the comparison. The comparison between an unknown quantity. See, like how much apple would be 1 kg, we didn't know. So the comparison was going on there. Yeah, and like you just counted the hours, the time. There also the comparison was there. And while buying clothes also, the comparison. So simply we can say, from this we come to the conclusion that measurement is simply the process of comparing. Comparing what? An unknown physical quantity, the quantity that we didn't know. How much is it? We're going to compare that unknown quantity with a non-standard quantity of the same kind. Yeah, so this is called measurement. About this, I think you've already read in previous classes as well. Simple definition. Now, why it's important then? It's very, very important. I have already said knowingly, unknowingly, everybody is using measurement in their daily life. So why it's important? There are lots of importances of measurement. Few points I have listed out here, like it's necessary for trade, like to buy the things, to sell the things. The comparison is required. Yes, so for trade transactions, it is required. In our daily life, in cooking purpose also, it's required. Like you want to cook something, and while cooking, okay, if you have no perfect measurement, then the food may not be much delicious. Like how much oil you have to keep, or how much salt you have to keep, or whatever. So in all these, measurement is required. Not only that, to carry out different scientific experiments also, the scientists, they follow the process of measurement. So all these, and that's why to get the reliable exact measurement of the unknown quantity, measurement is important. So this is about measurements important. Now while we measure, we have to measure various quantities. Yes, we're going to measure the quantities. Now there are different types of quantities. Like some quantities we can easily measure and some quantities are not measurable. So the quantities, like you want to measure measure your height. How do you measure? You simply just stand against the scale kept over the wall, and then you stand and just using a scale you might get your height measured. Not only that, you want to measure the, like suppose I want to measure the length of this duster, for example, the wiper. To measure it, what will I do? I'll just get a scale and then just keep it like this. The duster is here, and then after I'll just keep it straight, keeping it exactly in the point. I'll just keep it, and then I come to the conclusion that it's exactly 14 centimeters. Yes, so various quantities can be measured. If the quantities can be measured, those quantities are called as physical quantities. For example, length. Length is a physical quantity. Yeah, we can easily measure length. We can measure mass, like just before we had the example of buying various things. Mass, it can easily be measured. Like time, we can easily measure time. Yeah, we can measure temperature in case you have fever. We can measure temperature using the thermometer, or the brightness of light. Yeah, the current flowing. All these can be measured. Not only that, how much work you do, how much pressure is applied, all these things can be measured. So the things that can be measured, those things are called measurable. Those things are called physical quantities. I think you are viewing the slide. The quantities which can be measured are called, and they can be easily expressed in mathematical numbers, they are called physical quantities. These are few examples of measurable quantities. Now what if the quantities cannot be measured? See, like some of the feelings like emotions, things like emotions, maybe like you are hungry, you're angry, or maybe like you are having some problems. Yes, you are tensed, or you love somebody. All these things, emotions especially. Yeah, you're afraid, you're happy, you're sad. These emotions cannot be measured. So for this, what happens is, like these quantities are called as non-physical quantities. They cannot be measured. Yeah, these quantities cannot be measured, so these we call as non-physical quantities. You can just see over here in the slides the quantities that cannot be measured. They are non-physical, and the examples are also here. Yes, now if the quantities can be measured, now we move on to the main topic. If the quantities can be measured. Okay, first of all, let me list out. We just discussed about physical quantities. Just now we discussed about physical quantities. I'd like to show the slides once again. Physical quantities, yeah, and also we learned about non-physical quantities. We've already discussed about its examples. Measurable ones are called as physical quantities, and non-measurable ones that we cannot measure. Like I love somebody, I love my parents, but how much? We will say I love this much, the whole around the universe. But is that the example? Of course, that can be taken as example, but that is not measurable. How much is all around the universe? Yes, so in such case, if it's non-measurable, it is non-physical. That's about the quantities. Now our main concern here is if it can be measured. Yes, the physical quantities that can be measured. Now we are going to study about its types. Physical quantities. So these are furthermore divided into two more types. Physical quantities, they are furthermore divided into two more types. Let me just rub it out. So physical quantities, these are of two types. First one is fundamental physical quantities. I'll just write here fundamental quantities. Fundamental quantities are those quantities. Now see, let me explain few examples first of all. Like you want to measure length. I've already shown you the example using scale. Yes, I want to measure the length of the board, I want to measure the length of anything, or I want to measure the height, my height itself, or whatever. Or like you want to measure your the thickness of any object, thickness, breadth, length, whatever. I will use the measuring scale. Yes, the scale, measuring tape. We can measure length very easily. And if you want to measure, suppose the mass also can easily be measured using beam balance, using pan balance or physical balance. Different balances are the weighing balance and all. These can easily be measured. Time, watch is there, clock is there, different types of clocks. Yeah, and if you want to measure temperature, thermometer is there. All these things, see, which can be directly measured, which do not depend on any other quantities. Those quantities are called fundamental quantities. You can simply check few slides here. The fundamental quantities here, see, like length, mass, time I have already said, temperature, current, electricity, amount of substances, luminous intensity or brightness of light. This is called fundamental quantities. Once again, I'd like to define the quantities which do not depend on any other quantities, which are independent, which can be measured directly. These quantities are called fundamental quantities. And secondly, we have derived quantities. Now derived, when we just have a view at this word derived, it's much clear. With the word only, we get the complete definition. Derived, of course, it's derived from some other quantities. Now, some other quantities means which quantity? Yes, from fundamental quantities. So, derived quantities are those quantities which are derived from fundamental quantities. That means it depends upon other quantities. Let's take some examples. You want to measure, for example, okay, simply the surface area of this duster. Yeah, you want to measure the surface area simply. So what do? We need to measure its length, we need to measure its breadth. Simply the plain surface area. Like this we take, and simply like here, for example. Okay. I'll just measure its length using the scale. I will simply measure its length here. Just before we found it was 14 centimeter. Sorry, it was 14 centimeter. And if I measure its breadth, it would be, it's 5. Yes. So if I have to find the area, the surface area of this duster, so how do we find out? Area. So if you have to find area is length. We all know it's a rectangular object. So the surface area of simple rectangular object, its area is length into breadth. It's length into breadth. Now if we have to find the area without length, without breadth, can we find the area? No, it's not possible at all. Yes, so this area, this quantity is completely dependent upon length and breadth, which are the fundamental quantities. So we can say area is a derived quantity. Area is a derived quantity. Similar, we do have many other examples. Volume, if you want to find volume of a cuboid, it's also similarly like this, length into breadth into height. Like here, volume, length into breadth into height. I'll write in short. Yeah. We need to find length of the object, breadth of the object, and height of the object. Though it's length, breadth, height, these all are the type of lengths. Yes. So here we can say like volume. To find volume, it's dependent upon these quantities. So this is also a derived quantity. If we talk about more, we have more examples like speed. Okay. If you want to find the speed, we all know in class 7. These all are the things that you have already studied in class 7. To find the speed, what do you have to do? You should know first of all how much distance is traveled and in how much time. So distance traveled, of course it's a length and the time taken. Yes, so these both are the fundamental quantities, and without these fundamental quantities we can never find this speed. So it's also a derived quantity. Similar, we have more examples like work, power, pressure, all these, acceleration, all these are derived quantities. Okay, till now we have discussed about first of all measurement, then physical and non-physical quantity. Under physical, if we are clear up to here, then let me move to another topic. Like just let me recall the slides once. it's already explained. You can just check out. Area, length into breadth. Volume, length into breadth into height. Speed, distance traveled upon time taken. Pressure, force by area. These all are based on the topics that you already learnt in class 7. Work is force into displacement. You have solved lots of numericals related to this in class 7. Now we are going to move to units. So units. It's okay, to start up with the topic, we were saying, like we were discussing before, like you want to buy something. You'll go to market. You wanted some amount of fruits. You'll go to market and say, suppose sugar, you wanted to buy some amount of sugar. You go to market and you ask, okay, give me little sugar. Little means how much will you give? Yes? And then to make the shopkeeper much clear, give me 2 sugar. 2 means, what does it mean? It gives no sense at all. Yes? The pure numerical number in physics, it's actually meaningless. So it must be represented by a certain standard quantity, yeah, behind it. For example, if you just go and say, give me 2 kilograms of sugar, then it would be much more clear. Yes? When you go to a shop and ask, okay, give me 2 kilograms of sugar, then the shopkeeper would be much more clear, like how much to give. If you write just 2, what does this 2 mean? Whether this 2 is 2 hour, or what does it mean? Whether it is 2 seconds or 2 degrees Celsius, it's not clear. So to make the meaning, to give the meaning to the quantity, a unit is used. So we can define unit as a standard quantity. Unit is a standard quantity. And in terms of units, all other physical quantities are measured. Okay? Like in terms of units only, all these physical quantities that we learned, which are measurable, all these quantities are represented or explained, presented. Like for example, if I say 2 kg, I'll be much more clear that I wanted to say about mass. If I write here 2 hours or maybe 2 seconds or whatever, see, like this, these both represented time. Yes? If we say, like for example, 2 meters, yes, then it's also representing time. It's representing length. So these are the units which complete the sense of the number. Like if I say only 2, 3, 4, it gives no sense at all. So this is unit. You can just check the definition. The unit is a standard quantity in terms of which the other physical quantities can be measured. So again, now units are also of 2 types. This is the main topic that we have to focus here. Units. Units are of 2 types. The first one is fundamental units. Okay, again like before, you remember fundamental quantities. Okay, but quantities and units are different things. Okay, the measurable things, those are quantities, physical quantities we discussed before. Yeah, and they are represented in some quantity. That is the unit. The standard quantity is the unit. Now here, fundamental units, the first type of unit. Now here again, fundamental unit is the unit. Like here, meter. Let's discuss a little bit about meter. We represent it by m. Yes, this is the unit of length. Meter. It's a fundamental unit. It's independent. Yeah, this unit is independent. It doesn't depend on any other unit. See, the units which are independent of other units, which do not depend on any other units, these units are called fundamental units. Like mass of mass, this is the fundamental quantity. Mass is the fundamental quantity. And kilogram, it's measured in kilogram. kg, you can say. Like, let me represent this along with the units. Yeah, these are the examples. You can just see the slides. Length. Length is the fundamental quantity and its unit is meter. Yeah, we can directly get meter. You are seeing like SI unit is written over there. Don't get confused. We have already discussed about system international or international system of units in previous classes. Yes, it's the system which is used worldwide for making uniformity in the measurement. Of course, you might be confused like why length is not measured in centimeter or kilometer. Of course, it can be measured in centimeter, millimeter, kilometer. All these units are also possible, but the SI unit we are discussing, yes, to create the uniformity all over the world, the SI system of measurement is developed, and we follow SI units here. Another one like mass. Of course, mass can be measured in different order units like milligram, kilogram, centigram, yes, quintal, tons. Different other units are there, but the main unit, SI unit of mass is kilogram. You can see in the slides there. Third one we have time. Yes, time, SI unit. Other different units are there, but the SI unit is second. We can measure time in different other units also, like a second, hour, minute, a day, week, month, yes, decades, centuries. All those units are there of time, but the SI unit, main unit is second of time. And another is temperature. The SI unit of temperature is Kelvin, whereas it can also be measured in degree Celsius or degree Fahrenheit, but its SI unit is Kelvin. And you can see over there it's been written in small k. Of course, it's been derived, like it's been given from the scientific name, from the scientist name, yeah, Kelvin. And of course, like you might be thinking like why it's not written in capital K then? No, like why it's simply represented unit over here. Of course, it's named after scientist, but it's representing the unit. That's why it's written small k, Kelvin. But while writing its symbol, we represent it with capital K. Then after we have luminous intensity, yeah, the brightness of light. It's measured in candela, C-A-N-D-E-L-A, candela. And its symbol is CD. And current, the electric current, it's measured in ampere, of course here named after scientist, A-M-P-E-R-E, ampere, yeah. And its symbol is capital A. And another is amount of substance, different amount of substances. It's different than mass, please remember. The amount of substances, and it's measured in mole, M-O-L-E, mole, and its symbol is simply M-O-L. So these all are fundamental units. These 7 fundamental units are separately, specially found by a special convention held in France in 1960. Like previously, people used to follow different traditional systems for measurement. Afterwards, they were having lots of problems. That's why what happened was then they had a meeting, they had a conference, and in that conference, then after they finally came to the conclusion that now we have to develop a special units which would be used worldwide. Yeah, and from that they came to this conclusion, and finally like 7 special quantities, fundamental quantities, and their 7 fundamental units were found. And next one we have is derived units. Derived units, now again similar. Derived units are the ones like which are dependent upon the fundamental units. Yeah, second one is derived units. These are the units which are dependent or derived from fundamental units. Now, let's have some examples of this first of all, just before we talked about area. Area is the derived quantity. Yes, so area is the derived quantity. Its unit is also derived unit. Now, area, we have already written before, the surface area of like simple rectangle, its length into breadth. Now, length is measured in meter. In SI system, length is measured in meter, breadth is also measured in meter. Yeah? And m into, it's represented by m, and it's m square. So the SI unit of area is square meter. This is a derived unit. Few more examples like here. Lots of different derived units are given over here. See, area square meter, volume cubic meter, velocity meter per second. Without meter, without second, how can we get the unit of velocity? Yes, so these all are the derived units. Like force, it's Newton. Yes, pressure, Pascal, work energy, power, joule, and all these are different derived units of derived quantities. now, just now we have already discussed about it. You can check. And one more, speed is equals to distance by time taken. Like you can see in the slide, distance is measured in meter and time is measured in second. So the SI unit of speed is meter per second. Okay, so today we learned about measurement, physical and physical quantities and non-physical quantities. Yeah, and also we learned about different fundamental and derived quantities, and we learned about different types of units. So I hope you got much more clear with this. So in another class we'll learn more about it. That's all for today. Thank you. Have a wonderful day ahead.